Hello everyone, it's Charlton, back in Conshohocken again, starting at the same place, except one little stairway up. Heading down to the river. Think I'm going to tell you what I think about everything, even though I haven't this whole time. So, you know, and this doesn't mean I'm right. Could very easily be wrong. I do have a paranoid mind to some extent, but that, you know, it's just suspicious of many things. So, you know, about Alex Jones's channel getting terminated yesterday, his main channel and two other channels. I didn't check the reporting since yesterday. So, very quickly to review, had his main channel with 2.4 million subscribers terminated, along with the channel he was live streaming on, and then a third channel, INFOWars News. Somebody said that that was out there, but I couldn't find it when I searched. So, and you know, he supposedly had one registered strike against his main channel already. And according to Polygon, which is some news outlet I hadn't heard of, it seemed like a technology news outlet that covers technology, said that YouTube had cited, you know, the fact that he was trying to evade the live streaming ban, the 90-day live streaming ban. That by live streaming on another channel, that's the reason for his channels getting terminated. But, you know, that wasn't actually, that wordage was not in the statement provided by YouTube. That's just what they reported, they said. So, and I was saying in my previous video that the reporting on this isn't really clear all the time. In fact, the one strike he supposedly had against his main channel came when he had 4 videos removed at the same time, overnight, in the same 24-hour period. And because all four were removed in the same 24 hours, and it got bundled, it only counted as one strike. That seems unusual to me as well. I thought for sure I knew of other people who had channels that got strikes in a 24-hour period, multiple ones, and received multiple strikes. But I don't know that for positive. So that's the review. What do I think? You know, all this time, you know, I've been claiming that I didn't think the purge, and it seemed at first that this might have upended my thinking, that the purge, I hope my phone doesn't die, I don't have much power. I'm heading to the river, except I'm going to keep walking down further again. And everyone's out having a little break. So I didn't think the purge was YouTube. I had this feeling that it was a collective of creators, whatever you want to call it, you know, a network of creators. I think they call them multi-channel networks and stuff like that, that were behind the purge. That they had planned quite elaborately, including this idea of what I came up with about crisscross, you know, throw mama from the train, where you do my crime, I'll do your crime. And so they're striking each other's channels in this network, but not in any real consistent fashion, but that way it can't be necessarily tracked back to any one person. And there's no motive, you know, because they're striking, well, you know, somebody that is not considered a competitor, whichever. I don't want to lose my train of thought. So, and I think they might have even literally tested this to see what things would get strikes on their own channels, and tested this in a way to see things that would get strikes that they knew could get overturned and brought back to life. Literally tested it, you know, got something, flagged a video, it got a strike, appealed it because they knew it was, you know, it wasn't a legitimate strike, and then got the strike lifted before they even started this major, massive, elaborate assault known as the purge. Okay, so I think I laid that out pretty good. The other thing is that I kind of thought that Q had something to do with the purge, and that basically the creators that were behind Q were also behind the purge. And I don't know the reasons. I don't know the motives. Not all of this fits, you know, it doesn't necessarily all add up perfectly, you know. But my thinking was that somebody came up with this idea, Q, you know, and it was a good idea, you know, and it's obviously, it's exploded. I don't know where it's going to go from here. But then a bunch of other creators started their own Q channels who weren't part of the persons who created, who weren't part of this, collective, network of channels that work together. And by the way, many of these channels, in my opinion, in some circumstances, they actually pretend to be against each other, and so you don't know who you can trust, right? And they put this on display so that it could even be, I have many theories, that there's one person that's the linchpin of a lot of this, and he's not even he's a mid-level creator, and he was attacked greatly for reasons that I don't want to discuss, but because he is a linchpin. I don't want to reveal too much information, mostly because I don't even know for sure. Not only can I not prove it, I'm not even positive I'm right. But I had a feeling that this person, had a connection that, and he was a doorway, definitely. Let me keep going. So these other creators, they started making Q stuff, but they weren't part of the original Q creators, and so the Q creators came up with this idea to take them out. And that was the first idea, that was the first inception of the idea of the purge. But then it blew up, and they just came up with this idea of taking out tons of channels, tons of competitors, tons of up and coming new channels. It's an awesome topic that they could, it basically could become, something that would be in the news, talk about, make videos about, go on each other's channels about, as well as kneecapping potential creators and eventually maybe bringing them into the fold. So, and then they did it. Okay, so the purge happened. And I thought there was one main big creator at the top of it all, at the top of this, and they all report to him because he's the big dude, he's the big dog, and that was behind all this. There's so much to talk about. It's really beautiful down here. I'm gonna just keep walking. It's awesome, so cool. So, and basically I thought that big dude, the big dog, was Alex Jones, okay? And I don't, honestly, there's many things I like about Alex Jones. I don't dislike Alex Jones, even though a lot of stuff I don't agree with. And a lot of it I think is, is silliness. But a lot of it I don't think is silliness. A lot of it I think that revolves around politics and stuff like that. Even though it's not all true, it's very relevant. And I love to hear it. And I'm glad that he's, reporting on things. I do. Other things that I think are just, absurd, that's what I think. I think they're absurd. So, but what I think maybe is I think that even during the purge, and I think YouTube might have known all this, okay? But they also, at the same time, didn't want to just publicly come out and say it, all right? Because of the embarrassment that basically, a large group of sophisticated creators who are perceived to be sort of on the opposing side of things had corrupted their system, had caught them off guard, had basically beat them at their own game, and so forth, okay? So, yesterday when I first got the news of Alex Jones losing his channel, I thought that upended everything I said, everything I thought. But then I started to think, maybe not. Maybe that's exactly really why they took his channel down, okay? And that, like I said, in their statement, it talks about hate speech and violating policies and community guidelines and so forth. But they never specifically put the words in their statement why his channels were taken down, even though Polygon basically reported that it was because he was trying to evade the 90-day, ban from live streaming. So, I mean, it's almost like they went right back at him and did jujitsu on him, and said you want to take out other channels or network, and and they basically kind of let it happen to himself. So, you know, I definitely suspect, and I don't know this for sure, well, I don't want to say too much. I think his channel will come back, I do. The only reason I don't think his channel will come back is because it's so cool down here, dude. Look, I am the only person down here. It's like a secret down here. You know, this is, it's a work day, everyone's at work, but, you know, the only reason I don't think his channel will come back is because, maybe, and I do think it will come back, is because of what happened with Facebook, Spotify, and Apple. So, that makes me think maybe, you know, this is for real. As far as, you know, like I said, I basically like Alex Jones. I do, you know. Even though I think a lot of his stuff is absurd, you know. But I think, you know, including the most recent topics, which wasn't even his topic, okay? And I'm going to say something right now that's going to be very, very, but that's the whole point, is you got to be afraid, you got to not be afraid to say your mind. Otherwise, freedom of speech is useless, okay? You know, all this most recent stuff about Hollywood, Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg being accused of absurd stuff, okay? You know, I mean, that is making a mockery of one of the worst crimes imaginable. It is, okay? And, but I almost, you know, I think, you know, you almost have to let them make a mockery of that, okay? Because otherwise, people like myself, and I think there's more people like me that'll stand up and say that that's making a mockery of the worst crime, you know, pedophilia. When, for people who really do, you know, go through that. And so, you know, but I think if you don't let people say absurd things, then pretty soon you're going to start to not let people like me say those things are absurd. Okay? How you doing? And so, I mean, that's kind of how I feel on that. I mean, believe me, I thought with the purge, part of the reason I thought other creators were a part of it is because I thought the original David Hogg video was put out there as a trap. And to get people to make videos about that, and you know, and then once it was all done, you know, start attacking, you know. And I thought this new Cappy stuff was more of the same, man, and that's why I thought it was just a trap. But again, I think you got to let people say absurd things. Otherwise, pretty soon you're not going to let people stand up and say that those are absurd things. You know, I said in another video, pretty soon they'll start not letting, like, the parents of the victims speak up, you know, and tell their side of the version. In terms of making money off of it, you know, the mainstream networks are making a fortune off of all those stories. A fortune. No matter how they're reporting it, period. And when those incidents take place, believe me, the adrenaline is pumping, okay? And that adrenaline is pumping because it's such a huge story. And because of, you know, the prominence it's gonna bring to the network, the reporter, the money it's gonna make. So, and the monies that's made by these small independent creators, even people like Alex Jones, is pittance. Pittance. It's nothing. It's not even a penny you find on the ground compared to what the networks are making off of those tragedies. Okay? You know, I mean, people, believe it or not, people should be allowed to lie. I know that's crazy, but you can't make it illegal to lie. And, you know, otherwise, pretty soon, you know, cops are going to start to write like parking tickets for people telling lies on the street. You know, you get arrested for, you know, for telling a lie. Like, you know, you can't make lying illegal. We all just have to, you know, be smart enough to be able to tell the difference. I mean, I saw an article about Alex Jones. I got to wrap this up. Dude, I got to go down and check that out. There's a dock down there. About, you know, that one of Alex Jones's defense will be, you know, and somebody was writing about this, that nobody believes him. And I agree. I think that's true. And that is a good defense because nobody does believe him for the most part. Some people do, but, you know, even for the ones you do, I mean, you can't, oh, I can't go down there. It's blocked off. It's a cool dock. I think they were supposed to put a boathouse down here. That might be, I don't think that's it. You know, the builder who built a lot of these properties, you know, for crew, for rowing, you know. In the Philadelphia, the boathouses are all down on Boathouse Road, way down the river closer to Philadelphia. I think I can go out on this deck. And then I'm just gonna end this. I'm up to 16 minutes. I'm surprised I even lasted this long. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. We'll see if I upload this. Let me just show you. It is a crew house. Dude, it's so cool. I think. Wow, and look at all the boats. You see them down there? And, wow, check it out, dude. I think those are crew Malvern Prep, I think, and that's Conshohocken Rowing Center right there, dude. And I don't know what H stands for. Haverford? I thought Villanova was going to have, University was going to, because the builder, one of the something had a connection to Villanova. All right, I just ran out of power just about. All right, dude. I'm at the end of this video. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below, man. And I will see you in the next video. Later, man.